trying to improve to 6-2. Flowers throws short. David Borden gets his hands under the ball. And
Kutztown is very near to my heart. It's where I spent over 4 years of my life going to school, playing football. You know, the friends that I developed there, the professional relationships with my professors and coaches, who I am still in contact with today. The lessons that I learned from playing football in college, from discipline, commitment, teamwork, were easily translated not only to life itself, but onto the battlefield. Those things that I learned are used every day. January 19th, 2008 was a pretty important day to me. We were responding to a small arms fire, and as our unit moved up onto a suspected position, a group of suicide bombers attacked my men. The result of that was one of my Marines being injured, one of my Marines being shot, myself being injured, and one of my Marines being killed. After the blast, I was still conscious, and I remember everything. But what I remember most is looking over across the battlefield and seeing one of my men, one of my Marines, an unselfish young man who gave his life. That's a memory that'll last a lifetime. When I was able to understand the extent of my injuries, I was very fortunate that they were able to save my left arm. They wanted to amputate it, but were able to save it. My right arm was broken. I had a fractured right femur, and my right foot was amputated below the knee. And I also had close to a couple hundred ball bearings that pierced through me. For me, I always knew that I wanted to go back. When you are committed to something and put so much time and effort into it, being a Marine, commanding Marines, and when you're taken away from that, there's a void. And the only way to fill that void for me was to return back to active duty. 3 years later, I deployed to Afghanistan. Most of my men in that unit that I deployed with did not know that 3 years prior that I was evacuated off a battlefield. And I think it was a direct reflection of all those that made the sacrifices, from the surgeons to the nurses to the therapists and my family, to help me move forward and get me back to where I wanted to be. I love leading Marines. I love being a Marine, and knowing the opportunity to lead Marines again was the only thing that ever mattered to me. It was my driving force during my recovery. My experience and how it has shaped me, I don't think it has changed me as a person, maybe physically. But what it has done is it's given me a profound understanding of what those service members, past and present, have gone through when they're significantly wounded or severely wounded, and what it takes to succeed and to move on in life.